A few months ago is musician and saxophonist Rosemary Hui. It was at an event to raise money for the Hospice of the Good Shepherd at Chester Racecourse. Now, last time she was on the show, we had a chat about her battle with breast cancer and surviving this terrible time in her life as well. So I thought it was about time. We had a little catch-up, and I'd like to welcome back onto the show, along with our producer, Lempo. It's Rosemary Hui. Rosemary, how are you?
Hi, Billy, how are you?
It's great to see you.
And you too.
Just need to move this monitor a little bit. There we go. I can see you properly now. There you go. How are you keeping? You okay?
Yeah, not too bad. Just got a bit of tonsillitis at the moment. But
oh my word!
Otherwise, I'm okay.
It's all right. Does that affect you playing sax at all?
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
So, are things getting back to normal for you now after lockdown? Would you say?
Yes, yeah, very much so. I mean, in lockdown, me and Mike at Lempo, we got together and we were recording quite a few funky house tracks.
Yeah.
Which the one that you're playing at the moment, Lukey here, that got to #1 in the Beatport charts. And we
That's
also
fantastic.
had a #2 as well in the same week, didn't we?
We did, yeah. We actually thought we were going to replace ourselves at #1, but as fate would have it, we continued to pip ourselves with the first one, didn't we?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it's all good. Yeah, we've got it playing in the background now.
Yeah,
It's a fantastic track. So, things start getting back to normal. Like I said, we've got Lempo here as well. Mike is his real name to his friends, so it's so it's good to have you here. So, Rosemary, any particular standout performances for you recently that you've had?
Really, to be honest with you, I've had quite a few normal gigs and stuff doing what I love doing. But for me, the most important thing is actually the recording. I absolutely love doing the recording, and in fact, the guys that I'm working with in Canada as well with Mike, we're all doing it together. Anthony Hudson, I've got a track coming out with him on the 22nd of July.
Right, okay.
Called Problems, and apparently the In Stereo Recordings who have taken the track on, which is ran by DJ Dan and Diva Danielle.
Diva Danielle.
That's right. Apparently they run the In Stereo, and they really like the track that I've done, so they're going to play it, over there and stuff. So yeah. That for me, in doing the recording with Mike, that's really where I get a buzz.
That's good.
I love it.
I mean, it's a different thing, isn't it? Sort of like doing recording and playing live.
Yeah.
There's two different techniques, isn't there? Really.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And a lot of people, it's good to have the skills that you can do. But you're a very good saxophonist. Obviously, I've heard you play, and you're very, very good. I can hear you on this track. Yeah. You're very, very good. But it is it's a couple of different skills, isn't it? Really, sort of like recording. I get record button syndrome all the time. As soon as that record button goes, I can't play. I don't know where middle C is on the keyboard anymore. It's just absolutely terrible. So we've got Lempo here with us as well, Mike, Lempo. You're Rosemary's producer.
Yeah.
How long have you been, working together now?
Oh, gosh, we must have known each other for 10, 15 years.
At least.
I was playing around a few bars in Cheshire area, Knutsford mainly, when we first met, and we lived in the same area, didn't we? And, Rose used to come down to the studio that I worked in Knutsford, laid down a few parts. We also worked at some other studios together on records that eventually got released. But we sort of rekindled the relationship during lockdown, didn't we?
Absolutely.
And after everything that Rose has been through, that well documented, you've had her on the show in the past. And we wrote some new material together. We started working with Anthony Hudson, incredible melting man, over in Canada. And then we signed two of those as singles to In Stereo, and both came out and a bit of chart success on the digital stores and the streaming networks. And obviously this one that's playing now, we didn't see it coming really, did we? But it went into #1 after 2 days of being released.
Fantastic.
Stayed there for almost 2 weeks. And then the next record that me and Rose had done on another label, which was on Porky Records in Madrid in Spain, that track was called Little Funk. And that one was steaming up behind it in the charts. And before we knew it, we were #1 and #2. And I was honestly flabbergasted.
Can you?
No. No words to describe it, to be honest.
I mean, it must feel just wonderful, sort of like just to have. I mean, having one #1, you're so greedy. You have to have #2 at the same time. I mean, how does that feel? And I mean, sort of like, you've been working together, 15 years now, 10, 15 years, and obviously your careers have been longer than that. Sort of individually, is it sort of like the pinnacle of where to next? Then, Rosemary, what next? You've had #1, #2 on that chart.
Do you know what? I'd like to play on the next James Bond film.
Would you?
Yeah, I'd like to, when like Shirley Bassey did her thing.
Oh, yeah.
I think me and Mike should do our thing and maybe bring Anthony Hudson in with it.
You're setting some serious goals there, Rose.
I'd love that. Some like cool sax, you know, when the James Bond theme. I'd love that. That's kind of my goal.
Right. If you need a keyboard player, I'm right here. So it's like, just give me a shout if you get that gig. That'll be an absolutely fantastic one. So, so you found out at Lempo that you got to number 1, you number 2 right behind it there.
Yeah.
So, you know, what was it? A phone call? Were you just watching the chart? What happened?
No, I can tell you honestly, I was checking it avidly every morning to see where we'd moved or if someone had overtaken us. So I'd been aspiring to get that number 1 on Beatport in particular, because that's the true measure of a house producer's success. And to finally get it was fantastic. And I was straight on the phone to Rose and we were celebrating, weren't we?
Yeah.
But the first time we'd actually got together to celebrate together really was Friday night, wasn't it? And we had an event together that Rose was performing over my DJ set, which was great.
It's great hearing it's just great hearing a live saxophone, isn't it? Over the certainly over a DJ set when you're doing it, it's just wonderful.
Just brings it to life.
It does indeed. So Rosemary, what have you got coming up then, plans wise over the next few months?
Well, me and Mike have got another track out. Well, yes, with is it Robert Owens who's doing some vocals for us? So that's already been signed, I believe.
Yes, that's going on Trax Records in Chicago.
Yeah. And really, we're looking to do more stuff together.
Yeah.
You know, going forward, doing more of what we are doing and and releasing as much as we can.
That's great. I've also seen a little bit of footage of you and your band.
Oh, that's right. Yes, yeah. I was going to say as well, I've joined this band. They're already established, but I mean, I just jump in with them and play along with them, as and when. But we're doing a charity event on the 2nd of September. So the founders of the band is Chris Grixty and Al Turnbull. Very, very good guitarist and good vocalist. So we're doing really in aid of breast cancer. And it's going to be at the Yard in Manchester. So basically there's no charge, but people will be asked to make a donation, and then whatever we make we'll send it to the Pink Ribbon Foundation, who obviously have been with me from the start, when I was diagnosed and stuff, and I know them quite well. So that's something that I'm looking forward to do as well.
Yeah, I mean, the band sounds great. The musicians just absolutely fantastic. Fantastic on that. So, so it seems like you've worked hard. You've got number 1, number 2. You're going to probably go out there. So something's climbed up the chart, number 3, and you'll be there. Anything else that you'd like to add, Lempo? Yeah, well,
also since we've reconnected, we've put together a party that we're going to start doing every week in the Cheshire area in Hale,
right?
And it's at a venue called Ricardo's. So I'll be DJing and Rose will be performing live over the top of me. So if anyone does enjoy our records and would like to come and see us live, we'll be there every Saturday night.
That's great. Now, where do we find your stuff? How is this on streaming? Was it a website? Where do we go to?
Anywhere. Just type in Lempo, Lempo, same as Tempo but with an L, and you'll find me there, or lempo.co.uk.
Yeah, fantastic. And Rosemary will be able to get you through Lempo as well, or
it's my own website, rosemaryquay.com. And I'm always hooking up with Mike and Anthony, so whatever they're posting, I'll probably be tagged in it somewhere.
Yeah,
absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much for joining us today, Lempo and Rosemary Quay.
Thank you very
so
much,
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Billy Hui,
BBC Radio Merseyside.